First up, news from Rajasthan, where the BJP released its fifth list of 8 candidates for the Rajasthan Assembly elections, and State Minister Yunus Khan has been fielded to contest against Congress leader Sachin Pilot from Tonk. And after the Congress fielded Pilot in Tonk, the BJP brainstormed and replaced Ajit Singh Mehta, who figured in the first list issued on 11th of November. Now, Yunus Khan is a sitting MLA from the Dwana constituency. Meanwhile, the Congress party released the list of its remaining candidates for the Rajasthan Assembly election on Sunday, declaring 11 new names and replacing 3 previously declared nominees. It has left 5 seats for its allies. And with this, the Congress and its allies have announced party-wise distribution of 199 seats out of the total 200 in the state for 7th of December election. The Congress had declared 152 candidates in the first list and 32 in the second list. News from poll-bound Chhattisgarh, where the campaigning for the second and final phases of assembly elections came to an end on Sunday evening. Polling in 72 constituencies spread across 19 districts will be held on Tuesday in this phase. On the last day of electioneering, several leaders, including those from the BJP, Congress and other political parties, held public meetings at various places to canvass support for their respective candidates. Now, the parties and candidates can take up a door-to-door campaign before polling. Polling for the assembly election earlier took place in Sukma and 7 other Maoist-affected districts on 12th of November. And the second and the final phase of Chhattisgarh polls is scheduled to be held on 20th of November, and the results will be announced on 11th of December. 1,079 candidates are in the fray in this phase. Chhattisgarh has 90 assembly segments. News from the south of the country. The BJP on Sunday released its 6th list of 6 candidates for the assembly elections in Telangana on 7th of December. The list finalized by the BJP Central Election Committee included the names of V. Raghunath Rao and S. Gopi, among others. Meanwhile, the Congress party also released its last list of 6 candidates for the Telangana Assembly election on Sunday. The party is sharing some seats with the TDP and some other like-minded parties. The Congress has so far released lists for 94 candidates for the state, which goes to polls on 7th of December. The party had initially released a list of 65 candidates, followed by 10 and 13 candidates in the other lists. And on to a special report from Mizoram. The 2018 assembly elections will decide whether the state follows its tradition of changing guard every 10 years or to create a new culture by giving the Congress a 3rd term. While there is a direct fight between the Congress and the Mizo National Front, the emergence of the BJP and some other small groups may play a crucial role. So the Congress fights anti-incumbency, and all eyes are on the opposition, the Mizo National Front. Akhilesh Suman brings us this special report.
Mizoram, a peaceful state in the country's northeast, has 40 seats in its state assembly. The ruling Congress had 134 seats in the 2013 polls, with 5 going to the Mizo National Front. The Congress is confident of winning a 3rd time under Chief Minister Lal Thanaula, breaking a political tradition. Since the first assembly was elected in 1989, the state has seen the Congress and the MNF serving 2 consecutive terms alternately.
We have done a lot of infrastructure for our states, so that will be our winning chance. Out of 40, we hope we are getting around 38 seats.
The Mizo National Front, however, believes the people of the state will follow political tradition and vote them to power. It has nominated candidates for all 40 seats in the state.
And there are a lot of anti-incumbencies are there also. So in this connection, we hope that we will definitely win in the coming of this election. We are fighting by our own party. We don't have any alliance with other parties.
BJP too has put up candidates on all 40 seats and hopes to be kingmaker once the poll results are announced. It is banking on non-Christian votes who significantly influence at least 12 seats. Buddhists, Chakma and Bru may galvanize the fortunes of the BJP in the state.
Basically, we expect that most people, like the poorer sector, who needs development, who are eyeing for development to the states and who don't get development so far, will surely come to BJP. We don't have any alliance so far, but post-alliances, nobody can say.
There is also a conglomeration of smaller parties that is challenging both the Congress and the MNF. The combine is called the Mizoram People's Movement and is a combine of 6 parties: the Mizoram People's Conference, Zoram Nationalist Party, Mizoram People's Party, Zoram Exodus Movement, Zoram Reformation Front and the Zoram Democratic Front.
The people of Mizoram are getting tired of these two parties, MNF and Congress, because their work during their time is not that much. Corruption is rampant, development they are weak, and in administration is also very weak.
The fate of 201 candidates will be sealed on November 28th. There is a large number of first-time voters in the state this time. Their opinion and pattern of voting would be crucial for all parties.
There will be 6-corner fight in the state and fragmentation of votes will be immense. The state is important for the Congress so that it can retain it, and for BJP it is important because BJP claims to be one of the major players in Northeast. It will be interesting to see that how people come and vote so that the aspirations of the people are fulfilled. Akhilesh Suman for Rajya Television with camera person Sudhanshu in Aizawl.